Hello, millionaires and my future billionaires. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Talks with Rosaline. My name is Rosaline Idoko. So, for this episode, we'll be looking at some terminologies you find in the real estate market. So, this video is especially for first time home buyers who are new to the industry, or you're an agent or an intending agent who wants to come into the industry. So, navigating through the real estate market, you come across some of these words. So it's best you familiarize yourself with some of these terminologies for ease of communication and smooth transaction. So stay tuned. Please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a like, a comment, and share this video to whomever you know would benefit from watching this video. So let's go right into it. So our first terminology for today is a developer. So who is a developer? So a developer is someone who builds and sells real estate assets, right? So a developer sometimes employs the services of a contractor who is an expertise now in this field to build the properties. So, who is a contractor? A contractor is an expertise in this field that builds real estate assets or real estate projects on behalf of a developer. So, moving on, we have our third terminology, which is called the rental income. So, your rental income is the income you receive on your property per annum, or I mean, it depends on what you agree with your tenant. So your rental income is basically money received on a property, your assets. A rental value is the value that that property is perceived or is worth in the market. So, for instance, a rental value simply means a two-bedroom apartment in Victoria Island is going for about 8 million naira. So that's the value of that property in the market. So we also have agents. Another terminology you want to look at is agent. So an agent is somebody who facilitates a transaction on behalf of an intending buyer or an intending seller, right? So we have two types of agents. We have the listing agent and we also have the buyer's agent. So the listing agent is the agent who represents the intending seller, and the buyer's agent is the agent who represents the intending buyer. So when the sale goes through or the sale has been facilitated, they earn what we call a commission. So which brings us to our next word. So commission is the fee that is being paid to agent for the facilitation of the sale. So our next terminology is what we call a distress sale. So a distress sale, as the name implies, distress basically means that whoever wants to sell their property is in need of financial um, assistance, or it needs financial needs if it needs of funds, right? So sometimes it could come in form of, most distress sales are actually lower than the market value of such kind of property in the market. So it's also a good opportunity if you're new to the real estate market to know what a distress sale is and the opportunity to invest in such kind of property, right? So another terminology you want to also learn about is what we call a seller's market and a buyer's market. So a seller's market simply means that there are lots of demands of properties in the market with little or no supply, right? So the number of people who want to buy homes is limited to the amount of homes available in the market. So this actually gives sellers advantage to be flexible with their price, and to maximize their investment at the end of the day. So they're able to control what the market says and what the pricing of properties are in the market. While in the case of the buyer's market, you have many supplies, but you have very limited buyers who are interested or have the capacity to buy these properties. So basically, the buyers in this case are the ones who control the market, right? So they set and determine the price, because the sellers just want to sell. There's a lot, and there's a lot of competition, right? So sometimes you find sellers having to bring down their price to be able to, sell these properties and move on to the next one. Another terminology you want to familiarize yourself with is what we call off-plan properties. So off-plan properties are basically properties that you build from the scratch, or from inception with the developer, right? So off-plan properties has a lot of advantages because it offers you minimum entry prices. It offers you the opportunity to tweak and adjust your design to suit your taste. It also offers you payment structure or payment plans. Well, in another episode, I will talk more on what off-plan properties are. Stay glued to my YouTube channel. So moving on, the terminology you want to familiarize yourself with is what we call capital appreciation. So capital appreciation basically means the appreciation that your asset is perceived to be value later on in the future. So if you buy a property today, it is expected that your property would appreciate over a period of time. Now, your appreciational value is a perceived value, right? So it only becomes a monetary value or converted to a monetary value when you sell that property. So real estate investment generally have a great appreciational value spread across all. Another terminology you want to familiarize yourself with is what we call launch price or offtake price. Remember I talked about off-plan projects, right? So an offtake price is an advantageous price you basically get when you buy an off-plan property, right? So it gives you the opportunity to buy below the market value of such property because the developer is building from scratch with you. So they give you that advantage to key in and come in at the minimum price compared to the market value. So that's what an off-plan price or a launch price simply means. Another terminology you want to familiarize yourself with is what we call closing. So closing simply means that the deal and all the contingencies in that transaction has been accepted by both parties, either by the property owner and the intending buyer, and you're good to go to make financial commitment for that property, right? So that's when you say, oh, a deal has been closed. Commitment. A commitment fee simply means a monetary fee or a monetary commitment that you drop for a property, right? So it could be that the property is still ongoing, there's an ongoing conversation, but to sort of like show interest to the intending seller that I really want this property, even when negotiation is ongoing, but I will make a commitment of this amount so I am serious, or so that I could hold down this property while we are still negotiating the terms and conditions. So that's what a commitment fee means. So an offer letter is a letter that is being presented to either the seller or the buyer if to show interest in a particular property, and to say, so that's basically like a first step in any transaction or in any purchase, to say I am interested in this property at this price, or I'm selling this property to you at this price, and these are my terms and conditions. This is how I want my payment to go, or this is how I want to pay for this property. And when both parties now come to an agreement, then they close the transaction. So an offer letter is basically just a letter of interest per se for a property you're intending to buy or you're intending to sell. So there are a whole lot of terminologies you'll definitely be coming across in this market. For my next episode, I'll be sharing more light on some of these other terminologies, and I would also be talking about interesting things you will get to discover in the real estate market. So stay tuned to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Send this video to whoever you think this will benefit from this video, will learn something from this video, and I will see you next time. So this is Rosalie. Thank you for staying tuned with Real Estate with Rosie, and do have an amazing day. Bye-bye.